Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, LifeSecure Product Power Hour, with LifeSecure's Bob Anda and Amy Perdew-Smith, and AIM's Chris Chamberlain. Today's webinar will be recorded and then later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we get a quality recording. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation. But if we're unable to get to all the questions, we'll have a member of our marketing team reach out to you individually to make sure you get that answered. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join us for our next webinar on Tuesday, November 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Join AIM's Alex Ordaz and Aetna's Dan Memory for Simplify Sales with Aetna SSI by registering at yaim.com/training. And with that, I'll hand it over to Chris so that we can go ahead and get started. Take it away, Chris.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, LifeSecure's Product Power Hour. And I want to welcome Bob and Amy, and I appreciate you both being on our webinar today. And we're looking forward to getting the overview from you and learning a little bit today. And I'll be coming back on at the very end as they wrap up, and I'll help wrap up. And from there, I just want to hand it over to Bob and Amy. Thank you so much, you guys. Here we go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for dialing in. Really appreciate it. I know everybody's super busy at this point in time. Again, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Amy Perdew-Smith, on the line, and she is a National Strategic Account Manager, and I'm a Territory Sales Manager for the state of Washington and Oregon. But because AIM is located in Yakima, I handle all the relationships nationwide. Anybody that's appointed with AIM, I'll work with. So let's get started. All right, so a little bit about LifeSecure. So we are a financially sound company. We were established by Blue Cross Blue Shield to be their ancillary and long-term care arm about 15 years ago. And we are in 48 states, including the District of Columbia. And of course, we pay commissions weekly. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Here are the product offerings for the company. And most of these are in all 50 states. And Amy, chime in anytime if I talk about a product that's not yet approved in a state. But I believe most of our products are approved in almost all states. So we have Worksite, long-term care. We have accident insurance, critical illness, and hospital indemnity. So we write both individual and small business for the ancillary products, and long-term care is only Worksite. Amy, do you have anything to add about that?
The main thing I would say is the two states that we do not do business in are Florida and New York. So if you're logging on to your agent portal and you're running a quote, as soon as you drop down to whatever state you're writing that business in, you're only going to have access to what's available. So it's not like you have to memorize anything too crazy, but we do not offer any product in Florida or New York.
All righty. Okay, so the first product on the lineup is our accident plan. It's very unique. I just heard a statistic about this product. It's the #3 seller in the country per a LIMRA study. And the reason why it sells so well is, and why it's so unique, is it pays 100% of the explanation of benefits. So it's kind of similar to a property and casualty policy. Basically, you get a lump sum bucket, we call it, a benefit for the year, and that is used until the policy limit is gone. And so I'll give you a claim example in a little bit, but the issue ages, it's guaranteed issue. So it's great for seniors. It's great for small business owners that don't have major medical. It's a great product to fill high deductible gaps. I just heard of a deductible on one of the ACA plans. I think it was about $15,000. And so that is a product that you can use to bridge the gaps. It also has an accidental benefit to it, and that is also unique. It pays $10,000 for the named insured, $10,000 for their spouse or partner, and then it pays $5,000 without limitation per child. So I often tell the story about a buddy of mine who I do some mountain biking with. He has 8 kids, and he had 7 daughters, and finally on the last try he had a son, which is awesome. And he ended up buying one of these products, and he ended up with $40,000 in accidental death coverage. That's $5,000 per child, and then $10,000 for his wife and $10,000 for himself. So that's $60,000 in life insurance coverage. Pretty amazing benefit for this product. And it's also a product that's 24/7, so it can be used for people that are injured at work. And regarding work, there are no SIC code type limitations, so it can be used for people that are in dangerous professions, firemen, truckers, that kind of thing. And that's also a huge benefit to the product. And let's see, it does have a deductible option, but we would not recommend the use of the deductible. Amy and I, on our last webinar, we played around with the quoting a little bit. We just really didn't see a great benefit to using the deductible. So if you do go in there and quote one, probably would avoid the deductible. Let's see. Amy, do you have anything to add on our accident plan?
You bet. This is a really great plan for every client that you're talking with, because it works really well for both the over and under 65 clients. So for our younger clients, we see it a lot with active families and kids in sports. So whether they're playing club ball or if they're on a scholarship with college, we really see this plan coming in to play for that. And in our over 65 space, not only are people traveling more, but we're also seeing a real uptick in the pickleball market. So a lot of times those pickleball courts are filled with seniors. So this is a really great place to cover them from that sprained ankle or turned wrist also. And I mentioned travel. This plan will follow you through the United States and Canada. So if you are traveling within those areas, this plan will follow you. If you're going further than that, you would want to look for travel coverage. But the fact that this will cover you like for snowbirds or people that maybe want to go into the mountains, we cover all of that. So it's really a great comprehensive plan.
All right, and then one last comment I think I forgot to mention about the accident plan. It does cover a wide array of medical expenses at nearly 100%. The only small setback is for MRIs, and I think it drops down to 25% for those. And it does pay chiropractic. It pays for prescription drugs, and also rehabilitation and follow-up visits as well. So if they're related to the accident, then there's a tail for those coverages as well. All right, any questions on the accident plan before we move on to the next product? All righty, so I'm going to jump into our hospital indemnity product. So this is actually relatively new filing for most states. We did have a hospital recovery product, and this has been online replacing the hospital recovery product that some of you may be familiar with. So it's also issue ages 18 to 85. It's guaranteed issue in most states for 64 through 66. So that time frame. But if you are quoting in the system, it will tell you whether they're eligible for guaranteed issue. And if they're not eligible, you will get some underwriting questions at the end. We call them knockout questions. They're pretty simple, and it's simplified issue even with it not being guaranteed issue. But it's a great product for seniors. We sell a lot of these products to our Medicare agents are using this as a gap filler, and it is a top seller in the Medicare market. One of the new coverages that we added over the hospital recovery is the observation benefit, and then that is new. to the product. We also have the hospital admission for mental health and nervous disorders. Amy, do you want to add anything about the two new lines of coverage?
Sure. I would also say that this plan wraps around those out-of-pocket costs for Medicare Advantage extremely well. So you're able to customize that daily benefit amount as well as that period of confinement. So it can really match whatever those out-of-pocket costs are for your seniors. The other thing that we're really seeing is an uptick of carriers that are no longer paying comp to the brokers in the Medicare Advantage space. So with that added disruption in the market, LifeSecure is here to provide you a steady stream of commissions, as well as generally some bonus incentives, especially in the open enrollment season. So we are here to pay comp. So I think that's a really solid story as well. And as far as some of the riders that Bob was alluding to, in certain states, we are beginning the process of rolling out some riders where you can purchase our accident plan that we just talked about as the core benefit, but then you can get some additional coverage for critical illness or hospital indemnity. So depending on the state that you're riding in, as you select those options in the portal, you'll see those riders as they become available. So we are working to get that more of a bundled approach. Currently, in all states, you can write all three products at one time and quote all three products at one time in our portal. But we're just really working to streamline that so you can get all of that into one policy. So as we're rolling that out state by state, you will see that populating in your portal. But this plan is really geared towards that Medicare Advantage market. It does work in the under 65 space, but the point that I would caution you on is pregnancy is excluded. So we're never going to take a client that is currently pregnant, and we're never going to cover a normal and healthy pregnancy and delivery. So this is not intended to be a maternity plan, but it really does bode well in that Medicare Advantage space where also you're seeing that slash in commissions.
All right, and then a couple other comments. When you're actually quoting in the system, there's just a few things you need to account for. The period of confinement. So we go from 3 to 21 days period of confinement, and then the daily benefit amount. So it goes from anywhere from $100 to $900. And actually, the $900 I think is probably one of the highest benefits in the marketplace today. I've looked at some of the competitor information. Most of them, some of them cut off at 400, 500. I think the industry average is about 600, but we're for the daily amount is $900. So huge benefit there. And I think that's pretty much it for the hospital indemnity. And hopefully, if we have time, I could go in and perhaps do a practice quote. That'll be up to you guys. Anything to add on the hospital indemnity?
I think we pretty much covered the bases there. The big thing is once you've been out of the hospital for 60 days, that benefit does completely reset. But it also, depending on your period of confinement, if they do end up back in the hospital, say for an infection a few days later, there may still be benefit remaining. So it's like, we'll definitely pay out as much as possible on that, and then that benefit will reset. It's also important that we do cover observation, because a lot of times you don't know if you're fully admitted or if you were just held in observation until you get your EOB and final bills. So we really wanted to just eliminate that confusion.
Yeah, right. And one other point on all of the ancillary products, if you're not selling them, just a good selling point in general is that the benefits are paid directly to the client. They don't go to a hospital. They don't go to an attorney for subrogation, anything like that. They are paid directly to the client. It's tax-free payments directly to the insured, and they can use the payouts in any way they would like. They don't have to use them towards the medical. So if they do happen to have coverage on Medicare or on an ACA plan or major medical, they can still collect on the policy, and we don't require that they have other insurance. So that's why I pointed out earlier that these products are great for sometimes small business owners that are under that 40 employee threshold that don't have to provide a health care. It's a nice offering, a benefit to help small employers retain employees. So. All right. Next one is
our claims really quickly. So it's important to note that once you turn in that claim and it's adjudicated, we put that money directly into your customer's bank account, generally within a week or less. So our claims turnaround is phenomenal.
That's right. And then last but not least, critical illness policy. Most states issue ages 18 to 70. The prices do lock in at the time of issue, and it's guaranteed renewable to age 75. This product's a little bit different than the accident and hospital indemnity because it's not a guaranteed issue for individuals. However, on a work site, I do believe we'll go up to a daily benefit amount. I mean, not daily benefit, a maximum amount of $10,000 for critical illness coverage. Is that right, Amy?
Yes, we will do a $10,000 lump sum benefit at guarantee issue. And the other thing, going back to the age lock-in, all of our products are set it and forget it, in the standpoint that whatever age you are at time of application, as long as that policy stays in force, that price is never going to go up. So as long as you lock that in and keep that policy in force, that premium is not going to change. So it's one thing that you can really count on in this marketplace.
Yeah, that's a great point, Amy. I appreciate you including that. And you could always, on all these products too, the policy limits can be adjusted during the policy term by just doing a simple change request. And that's how it works. Also forgot to mention on the accident plan, we do go up to 25,000 in coverage for a family. All right, so back to the critical illness. So again, it's not guaranteed issue, but it's simplified issue with a few knockout questions. It does have return of premium benefit, a health screening benefit, 50,000 per person. There is also subsequent diagnosis coverage and recurrence of the same disease is covered if it's spaced out at least, I believe it's 12 months. Isn't that correct, Amy?
Yes, on the reoccurrence of same disease, you do need to be treatment-free and disease-free for a year. So that's especially common with cancer, that you would be deemed treatment-free and cancer-free for a year. And then if that cancer returns either in the same place or metastasizes to a new location, we will pay 50% of that original benefit amount. And then on the subsequent diagnosis, Bob's going to show us here in a minute a schedule of conditions that are covered. And that would be like, say you were paid out for a cancer diagnosis, and then within a year you had a stroke, you would then be eligible to receive another full benefit. So the subsequent disease time limit of waiting is 6 months. So you could actually be paid multiple times on this policy. So now Bob is showing you that list of covered conditions. So I will tell you, not only is this the list of what's covered, but it's also your field underwriting guide. So this is the guide that you're going to look at. And if your customer has had any of these conditions, with the exception of skin cancer, in the last 10 years, they are not eligible for the critical illness plan. So they do need to be cancer-free, treatment-free, all of those things for at least 10 years in order to qualify for the plan.
All right, thank you, Amy. And then ease of doing business. I'm not sure, Chris, if we do have time to go into a practice quote. I'm not sure how we're doing on time. But one of probably our number one selling point and sort of the value proposition of LifeSecure is our ease of doing business. Can actually quote a entire account, accident, critical illness, hospital indemnity within just a couple of minutes. Coverage can be bound same day in most cases. And if they do have some underwriting questions that come up that need to be reviewed by underwriting, that's usually done in a few days. But most of the products can be issued immediately. We're very easy to pay as a company too. The company does take credit cards. We also can do an EFT deduction from savings or checking, and we can set up a schedule to pay monthly, quarterly, biannual, or annual. In addition to that, the client can pick the day, if they do an EFT, that the money is withdrawn for their account. And we do have a 30-day grace period as well. So if they do get a lapse in coverage, they will not be automatically bumped into a higher band as they've aged. They'll have 30 days, and they'll be able to keep their rate that was locked in when the policy was originally bound. There's no application fees. We see this on the hospital indemnity a lot. Many of our competitors charge, I think, I've seen $25, that kind of thing. So there's absolutely no application fees. And then we do have a paperless option as well. And there are several ways to get the policy to and communicate. We can communicate strictly through text, email, or through strictly paper. And then we do have marketing and co-branding opportunities as well. One of the best high-tech ease of doing business things that we do is we do have a pearl, we call it, that we can give to our agents if they have their own website, and they have, right now there's a lot of activity on the websites. We can give you a pearl for your website. You can title it ancillary coverage or whatever you'd like, and there would be a live link where your clients and prospects can quote the LifeSecure product right off of your website for passive income. In addition to that, if you wanted to aggressively go after clients on an email campaign, or just doing outbound calls, or even in your face-to-face meetings, you can send the link to the client. All right, so I had a pop up there. So,
hey, Bob,
Amy,
this is Chris.
Yes.
Instead of doing the quoting on part of this webinar, let's just, we'll finish with this and we can go into the Worksite, and then we can do we could just do a quick scan of each, just highlight, and then go from there, and then wrap up at the end there. Okay.
All righty. So, Amy, I'm going to circle back to you. So back to I'm going to jump back to the accident plan, because the one unique thing about LifeSecure, the coverage forms and pricing is nearly identical on the individual and the worksite offerings. Is that a fair statement, Amy?
Yeah, it really is. And we're seeing a lot of these plans are being offered in the worksite space. And so by worksite, we're talking about usually a smaller business opportunity. So our sweet spot with these ancillary products is really 100 lives and less, or even down as low as 50 lives. And sometimes we're really seeing great success on the Main Street businesses. So it might be like 5 applications. So on the accident plan, a lot of times the employer will provide a $10,000 benefit bank to each employee. So they will just provide that as part of their benefit package. And then the employee would have the option if they wanted to buy up and have a higher benefit bank amount, or if they wanted to add family members to the plan. So really, that is a great way for these employers to retain their good workers, as well as a nice hook as they're working on recruiting new workers to their workplace. So our ancillary plans can all be offered in the worksite space. So that means an employer-employee relationship. And those things stay the same. Like this would be a guarantee issue plan. So very simple to quote and issue. We can work with you on setting up the group ahead of time. We have a group submission form on our portal that's all done electronically, where you'd give us the specific information about the group, and then we would give you back a link where you can send that out to the employees so they can either self-enroll or you as the agent can walk them through the process. But again, it's all done electronically, and we have the option of doing list bill. So if you're working with a group that has at least 3 lives, we can offer list bill. So if they would rather have the list bill done where it can come out of the payroll instead of having it be on direct bill, we have that option as well. So it's really a nice way to bring these products into the marketplace. And then in the worksite side, we do have some extra caveats on the underwriting. So like we talked about, the accident plan is guarantee issue all the time, but the hospital plan, we could do a $200 or $300 a day benefit that would be guarantee issue. So again, a very easy way to get those employees some added benefits that don't cost them a whole lot of out-of-pocket costs. Then on the critical illness, we mentioned we have a $10,000 lump sum benefit that is also guarantee issue. And the really nice part about that critical illness plan is we're giving people dollars when they need it the most. This is going to help them be able to make some decisions. Maybe they want to get in a second opinion. Maybe they want the spouse to take some time off work and go to doctor's appointments or treatments. Maybe they even want just a mini vacation to get away from it all. Whatever they need to do for their own mental and physical well-being, that's what these dollars are for. So at LifeSecure, that's what we really pride ourselves on, is giving your customers money directly into their account so they can make those decisions. We're never going to coordinate benefits. We're never going to pay a provider. We're never going to pay based upon pure reimbursement. We're simply giving dollars to your customers when they really, really need it. I'll turn that back over to you, Bob, on how you wanted to talk through with the worksite, and if you wanted to touch on any specifics or.
Yeah, I did. So just I think one of our selling points, Amy, is our low participation requirement and how
Agreed.
How small the group can be. I know that some of our competitors have I think a 10 employee minimum, and I believe we'll go down to 3 employees. That's is that correct, Amy?
Yes.
All right, so huge selling point there. And then again, I think Amy pointed out that we can do a list bill, or employee can pay 100%, just whatever the employees would like to do. And I think that's pretty much it on the work site. I mean, overall, kind of some selling points to it is that we do have low participation requirements. We do have guaranteed issue options on it, and we are in almost 48 states. There's a few, like I said, New York and Florida, the only 2 states that we're not in, but most of the time we do have an option, an ancillary option for small work site.
And the big thing here is if you're not talking to your clients about the ancillary or supplemental benefits, you can bet the next agent will. So it's really important that you're offering these products because it's a great way for your employees or for your customers to be able to budget for these expenses. I mean, these deductibles are really, really going through the roof. So this gives them a nice peace of mind that they've got some of that first dollar coverage when they need it.
Yeah, and then again, even if they don't have major medical, it's worth the conversation. You should never have to walk away from an account because they can't afford, to insure the entire group when you have this ancillary product in your lineup, because it's way better than nothing, especially for small business owners who want to provide something for retention and then also for themselves. I know that when I was selling these, a lot of times the small business owners would want to purchase the product because they couldn't afford the major medical, and they had at least some protection against, ultimately, a bankruptcy in some cases. So it's a really good option. As far as the marketing conversation goes, on the ancillary, we didn't talk a lot about that, but there's a tremendous amount of opportunity during open enrollment and afterwards. There is, one of our agents sells a ton of this and basically incorporates it into their meeting by just simply saying, I've got an option for you to cover some of these co-pays and co-insurance to get them practically down to zero. So if you'd like to learn more about our accident and hospital indemnity critical illness, we could do that now, or we can do it in a follow-up meeting. And that's a great way to approach it. So, and I would be remiss, Amy, if I did not talk about our our open enrollment bonus that we have going right now. And
Absolutely.
It started at the end of September. So we do have an amazing bonus for open enrollment. It runs, started on September 15th, runs through December 31st. And if you sell, this is policies, not accounts. So if you sell between 5 and 9, you get $50 per policy. And if you sell, it jumps up, if you get to 10 to 24, jumps up to $75 a policy. And then if you get over 25, we have one agent that's getting close to the 25 count. Now, then you could end up with a $100 bonus, and it's retroactive. So it can be a huge benefit, especially if you see these commission cuts, that kind of thing, for the open enrollment period to place these products. Again, it's not by account, it's by individual policy. So pays out ultimately at the end, I think the end of March in a lump sum. It's not prorated. Anything to add on the bonus, Amy?
Now is the time. So if you're not appointed with us, get appointed and start selling, because this is really a great time to cash in with that bonus, but really provide your customers with that coverage that they need. And now is absolutely the time. But don't be shy to go back in and cross-sell these in first quarter too. If you feel like you're just too buried right now, there is no specific timeline that you have to sell our products. We're here when you're ready to do it. So you can always go back and have that conversation in first and second quarter.
Hey, Bob and Amy, I had a question that came up. Are there any exclusions on that bonus program in the state of Washington?
No, do not see those.
Okay.
No,
all of our ancillary products qualify for the bonus.
Okay, all right.
And they can be individual or Worksite.
Wonderful. And you guys did an amazing job today. This is phenomenal. We're in it 35 minutes in, and you guys, we had a lot of information here, and there is great information for right now with the disruption in the insurance market, in the AEP. This gives something for every agent to take, to get contracted, to boy, there's so much information, and I think we need to have you guys come back and do the quote like you were saying I think that would take some time. So we'd love to have you back.
It's actually pretty quick, but if we had
Yeah.
another segment about this time frame, I think we could definitely show you how it works really quickly.
Yeah, and I think to do another segment, which would be 30, 35 minutes, and then go over. By then, you might have some new stuff going on, and you can remind us of everything. I like the accident plan. You talked about pickleball. I mean, golly, that's so big right now, and I think every person in the pickleball, kids in sports, that's big. The guaranteed issue 18 to 74, the hospital indemnity. I'm not surprised you guys are leaders. 18 to 85, all that's going on, and it rejuvenates after 60 days. I saw that. That's a big deal. That's huge. And then you guys went over the critical illness. Hey, and if you guys want to throw something in here, 18 to 70, return of premium, guaranteed renewable, and we could actually probably do a whole segment on Worksite, don't you guys think? I mean, that would be
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's funny that you mentioned that, Chris, because each one of these could be an hour webinar for each product, both individual and Worksite. We just wanted to keep it, knowing it's open enrollment, we just try to condense it down to the bare minimum amount of information. So one last thing, Chris, if somebody does like to get appointed, I can send the link over to AIM. We do have a new get appointed link that can be emailed, and you just click on it, and it pushes you right into the application. And then once you're in the application, you can you just select LOA agent, and then you can put AIM as your upline, and it can all be done electronically. Or you can go directly to AIM licensing, and they can get you appointed. It's super easy to get appointed and only takes about 6 minutes to complete the application.
Wonderful. That's a great thing. And I want everybody to know you have a great team here at AIM, and great people like Bob and Amy that came on. They're here to help you. They're here to help us. And I do appreciate both of your time today. But we have a great team that can help you contract with you. I'm sure you're going to have questions. That's what we're here for. If we don't have the answers, we go to Bob and Amy, and that's wonderful. And do you guys, before we go off, is there any other comments you want to make before we wrap it up and call this a webinar?
I just appreciate your time so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to send some just three. I have three one-page each product summaries that'll provide some really good detail. I could send over to you, Chris and Jordan, just to circulate to the agents. And even if they didn't dial in for the webinar, it'd be great to get those circulated. They're really easy to use and provide a lot of detail on one cell sheet.
Great. Okay, well, this is a recorded webinar, and if you need to listen to it again, there's a lot of information here. And again, from the people, all of us at AIM, we do thank you, Bob and Amy, and everybody. Have a wonderful day. And again, we're here for you, and take care. Thank you again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.